see how we did here. So we are giving a parabola with a vertex and another point. Determine the equation which models the parabola. So you can either make a little sketch, or if you want to think of it this way, there's a point here, the vertex, and another point, right? So it's kind of like the story. So this is my vertex, and this point is at -7 and 4, right? So we want to find a third point where we get back to the same height that we started at, and we just double, right? So we know that from -7 to -4, right, that difference was 3. So another 3 would be -1, right? So this is the third point that you needed to find. Right, so I went from here to here. It was up by 3, so I need another 3 to get to that point. So if you want to rather have it like this, right, I'm going -7, 4 is right about there. And then -4, -5 is right about there, right? So this is the vertex. If you need it like this, right, then you want to get back up here somewhere, right? It should have been, sorry, yeah, oops. But let's say you don't know what it's supposed to look like, right? You just kind of imagine this, but I know already it's supposed to be at -1, right? It's supposed to be somewhere in here. It looks bad, but there it is. So -7, 4. This is -4, 5, and we know that this is going to be something 4, right? I go back to the height that I started off with. And you can use the axis of symmetry formula, because x, right, is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2. This is the way to find the axis of symmetry. In this case, the axis of symmetry is given, and I know x1, which is -7, I'm going to make that my x1, plus x2 over 2, right? And so what you do there is you multiply both sides by 2. This is -8. This cancels out, so you end up with -7 plus x2. x2 is -8 plus 7, right? This -7 comes over adding, and x2 is equal to -1, which we expected to get anyways. All that work, right? I'm just trying to give you a crash course, I guess. So I put this into L1, L2, stat, calc 5. We type that in, and I will just use my answer key here, x squared plus 8x plus 11. And this is the standard form, which this right here tells me what the y-intercept is. Okay? As opposed to, right, vertex form, would look like this. Remember that, right? X minus h squared plus k, right? Where -hk is the vertex. Okay. So remember that. This, if it's in this, if you see brackets whatsoever, then you can get the vertex out of that. Anyways. Solve the following quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. And so that one, make sure you have, right? Okay, that's the formula you should have. You're gonna have to use that if I ask you to, right? If I specifically refer to it. So let's clean this up. That's step number 1. So I'm gonna take the x squared and this x squared. It comes over adding. I'm bringing everything over to the left, by the way. Then I take the x, right, -11x, and there's a 36x, it comes over subtracting. Then I worry about the constant, right? Plus 15, this 30 comes over adding, and then you end up with 0 on the other side. So you end up with 12x squared minus 47x plus 45. And so you have your A is 12, B is negative 47, C is 45. And now you can start plugging in. Okay, so x is equal to negative b, happens to be negative as well, watch that. Plus or minus square root of b squared, so you take b and square it. If you put brackets around every number, that's the safest option, right? AC, like that. That is inside the root. All of this whole expression is divided by 2 times 12, right? A. And then you clean it up. And maybe I will take the time to actually type this in. Okay? So I will go negative 47 squared like that, minus 4 times 12 times 45, right? So you get 49 inside the square root. And I need to be careful with my space here. So I'm going to go negative and negative turns positive, right? These two negatives, plus or minus square root of 49 over 24. I can make this work. We already know that root of 49 is 7, right? So, but this won't, most likely not going to be that clean, right? So that's why I keep it like this, and then you branch off, right? So the first one is going to be 47 plus root of, I'm going to go through the whole, right? Plus root of 49, and that's 54. Then I go divide it by 24. So that's 2.25. Let's show that step, because if you make a mistake here, you get nothing, right? So I'm going to go 47 plus root of 49 over 24, and that's 2.25. X2 is 47 minus root of 49 over 24. That's 1.67. I'm okay with that, but I did show you in your notes that I also want you to be comfortable writing it, because really roots, solutions, all of that, they're really x-intercepts, right, that you're finding. Oh, you can see that there. Now you can. Remember, roots, solutions, x-intercepts, zeros, they're all referred to the same thing. Okay, one more. Given the interior angle of a regular polygon, given that it's 168 degrees, calculate the number of sides. What I always do is, I know that the exterior and interior angle, they're supplementary. So to get the exterior angle, I go 180 minus the interior. So it's 180 minus 168, right, which is 12 degrees. So if you want to zoom in to any corner on this polygon, we don't know how many sides it has, right? But the inside is 168, and if you extend it, right, we now figured out that this is 12. Okay. So I guess our polygon continues, right? And so at any particular corner, right, if you know the interior angle, you know that the exterior angle would be supplementary to it. And so I know also that the exterior angle is 360 divided by number of sides. So I know that I can replace the exterior with 12 degrees and just place it like that. And this will easily give me the number of sides. So all I do is put the 1 here, right, as a placeholder. You cross multiply and you divide. So it's 360 times 1 divided by 12. And this is 30. 30 sides for that question. There's a longer way using the interior angle formula. It's just a little bit more work. So, right, the interior angle is n minus 2 times 180 over n. This is a big or, right? You can do it this way, or you can do it this way. So the first thing I do is I multiply both sides by n, gets rid of that. So that's 168n is equal to n minus 2 times 180. At that point, I distribute, so it's 168n is equal to 360. No, sorry. Back up. 180n minus 360 degrees, that is. I bring the 180 over, and I leave the 360 like this over on this side. Then I'm left with negative 12n is equal to negative 360. Divide everything by negative 12. Sorry, this is 12, not 7, which is 30 sides. So either way, you're gonna get you should get 30 either way. But if you do it this way, make sure you show the work, okay? The intermediate steps. So if I would now, like, let's say time is an issue, I need to start somewhere, I would put my money on like word problems right now, okay? So if you take your yellow booklets, if you go to page 3, for example, right, one of those types like 0 to 3, right? Try to do questions like that. Maybe look for one of each type. I think I did do that. So start on page 3 and just work through those questions for the rest of today. Okay. The test, I'm hoping that tomorrow there's still one student that needs to write it for a valid reason. So, but if that doesn't happen, I will still hand it back tomorrow, so you know. Or Friday. I can even do it on Friday after or before the test, right? Because it's stats. You won't need stats until Tuesday, right? So that's what we're going to do.